Boy, was it good that I waited a week. Yes, so pretty much this time last week, last Monday, we had the first reveal for the new Call of Duty, which we had leaks that it was going to be called Infinite Warfare, and that I saw a listing on Amazon that did say, like, Call of Duty Remastered, which I was intrigued about, because not many of the sites actually picked up on it. I didn't want to say anything, because most often with Amazon, it's just something that's put up as a placeholder that isn't real. Except it sort of was. Because they revealed Infinite Warfare, and surprise, surprise, it's set in the future, it's set in space. Which I guess you shouldn't be surprised. It is Infinity Ward that's doing this year's Call of Duty. The guys that did Call of Duty Ghosts, which is one of the worst Call of Duty games of the franchise ever. And, yeah, it's garnered a lot of hate. You know all that hate and the dislikes, like the 800,000 dislikes or whatever, on the Ghostbusters trailer? The Call of Duty one's got about 1.3 million dislikes. Yeah. Even that is hated more than the Ghostbusters trailer. That's probably saying something. I think it's just because for people that just want to play it, it sort of is sort of the same old sort of thing. Because if you actually look at it, you had Advanced Warfare, which was futuristic, Black Ops 3, which was futuristic, and now, following on from Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, which is all futuristic. And just, it looks really generic. Okay, you get to go into rocket into space on a thing and whatever, but is that really going to be a huge part of the game? Probably not. It's a Call of Duty game. They've never been known for a vehicle bits of any great success, apart from like the AC-130 stuff, which was a side mission in Modern Warfare like 1 and 2. Speaking of, however, it was the last 20 to 30 seconds of the trailer that had a lot of people excited. Because Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, whatever you want to call it, is getting a full-on remaster. And I must say, it looks brilliant. Because, that's when Call of Duty story games weren't crazy ass things. Apparently it is going to be a slightly reworked story. It's not going to be exactly the same, but most of it is. Sort of obvious reasons, I guess. But of course there's a giant snag. The remastered version of Modern Warfare 1 is only available if you buy the Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare. Which means you have to pay $80. Which means you are paying $20 for the remaster, which is how much it would probably be anyway, if it were ever put on sale individually. Which I think it might eventually will do. Or if not, the value on sites like Amazon and GameStop and all that could get very interesting in price. But we'll have to see, yeah. Basically, $80. I don't know if there's a recommended retail price over here in the UK yet, but just the fact that it's only going to be available if people buy the Legacy Edition. The best thing that could and should be done is if people do not bother to pre-order the thing. And if the pre-orders of it's sort of a double-edged sword. If you don't pre-order it, maybe they'll have to, because they'll be losing so much money. But then again, will they? If people are always going to try and buy the new Call of Duty, whether it's good or not, because they want to be playing it with their friends, because they don't play the single player, they play the multiplayer. Which, there's even multiplayer from the remastered Modern Warfare 1, so I guess most people will be playing that instead, even though it's only 10 of the maps from that original series. There's not the full complement. But either way, it's really, I don't know. I mean, I do know, it's Activision being Activision again. And the thing is, it's not like Activision's really in any financial trouble that I'm aware of. Activision Blizzard Wing is doing wonders with Overwatch at the minute. Just in terms of sign-ups for the beta and everything. And you've also got the fact that the announcement that came that Disney Infinity is no more. The studio's done. There aren't going to be any future games in the series. The franchise is dead. So all these figures, there ain't going to be any more. There ain't going to be a Disney Infinity 4.0. It ended, we had the Disney, then we had the Marvel, then we had the Star Wars, and that's it. That's your trilogy right there. And that's obviously one of the big competitors that they had on multi-platforms. Nobody else is really doing toys to life on consoles other than Nintendo. And hell, Activision even has games on the Nintendo. So they're making sort of double the money anyway. They're making people that have got the Nintendo console, and then people who haven't, who want the toys to life sort of things. So, I mean, let's hope that sales and or pre-orders are down for it. Because they're saying it won't get released separately. But let's be honest. If the drop-off for Infinite Warfare is that bad, I think it'll be interesting to see. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to play it at the games conventions, if I can. Well, I should be able to. But it'll be interesting to see, because year after year, the queue for Call of Duty has gone down dramatically. Now, last year, the big queue for everybody was really, the main one was Battlefront, and to some extent Mirror's Edge and Division and Rainbow Six Siege and all these other ones. Call of Duty is just old hat. Call of Duty is now like a FIFA. As in, it's there, and people buy it because it's there. Not because they've got any interest in it. Which then flips us to the EA announcement on the Friday. In that Battlefield 5 is actually going to be called Battlefield 1, and is going to be set, or based, should I say, on World War One. Because they've pretty much implied it's not going to be true World War One. It's going to be sort of steampunk World War One, as in it's going to have elements of World War One, but elements of other stuff as well. So it's not like a true realistic World War One thing. But the fact that in the trailer, you know, we saw biplanes like the Red Baron and all that battling, the old school style tanks, of which apparently there's like 5 or 6 which are all going to drive differently, so that it's not going to be sort of a generic, you're in a tank, this is how the controls are going to be. You got all sorts of different weapons. Apparently we're even going to have horseback. Who needs horsepower when you can just have an actual horse? The trailer looks very good, but I can't remember whether they said it was in-game footage or whether it was rendered footage off the console. But the whole aspect that it's trying to go to a different time period where no real AAA game has gone into that area. There's been quite a few. I mean, there's a game that came out. There's a game that was on the show floor last few years at the convention called Verdun, which is a World War One indie title, which, you know, is pretty good. But off the top of my head, I can't think of any other World War One based games, because I think everything's been pretty much World War Two. I mean, if anybody else can come up with a list, you know, or a list of other games that were set during World War One, feel free to leave them in the comments, because, you know, off the top of my head, Verdun's the only one that comes to mind personally. But yeah, that's coming out. I think they said Infinite Warfare is November 4th, and I think the actual proper release date is like October 21st for Battlefield 1, with a few days early access for Xbox One people that are signed up to the whole EA access thing. We're going to get more announcements on both those games at E3 next month. But, I mean, as it currently stands, as with most of the internet, I have to say that the Battlefield one looks way more intriguing, because at least it's something that seems refreshing, as in it's something that we don't regularly see. Rather than, oh look, it's a futuristic sci-fi shooter. It's weird how everyone loved the modern shooter when Call of Duty 4 did it, which admittedly was 2007, and it's been 10 years and there hasn't really been any, apart from Black Ops 1 and to some extent Black Ops 2. Most of the rest of the franchise has either been modern day, with the Modern Warfare trilogy and all the other ones, or it's been futuristic. And people, I think, after 10 years since Call of Duty 4, are starting to sort of look back and think fondly of, wouldn't it be nice to see a World War II shooter? I think that's why Wolfenstein got all the reception that it did. I think that's why quite a few people are looking forward to Sniper Elite 4, which is, I think, coming out towards the end of the year. They're cherishing the fact that they've got historical shooters to play with, not just grand sort of futuristic things. So, you know, we'll see what comes of this, but I don't know. Let's just say I'm looking forward to Captain Price, but the weird shit in space, give me a Red Baron any day, or Captain Price in a Red Baron. Although I don't think they can do crossovers like that. Pity.